up in the building with another video. And today we're gonna be taking a couple more steps down that TikTok rabbit hole. And as always, we ain't gonna waste none of y'all time. We're gonna go right ahead and hop right up in this thing. Let's get it.
This is what they don't tell you. The Grand Canyon isn't just a natural wonder. It holds the secrets of an ancient, advanced civilization. But that's not even the craziest thing that was recently discovered. In a 1909 newspaper article, there were claims of an incredible find saying, an explorer discovered a hidden cave filled with Egyptian artifacts. The Grand Canyon has been studied for centuries, so what's really hidden within it? This is where things get scary. In the article, explorer G.E. Kincaid allegedly found a cave containing statues, tools, and hieroglyphs that resembled those of ancient Egypt. But here's the twist. Some scientists believe it wasn't even the ancient Egyptians, but an ancient advanced civilization called the Anunnaki.
We talked about that before, right?
It was actually the Anunnaki who built the pyramids in ancient Egypt, and they also built pyramids and giant structures in part of North and South America. But once they left our planet, they took everything with them, leaving us with giant architecture all around the world.
There's a theory that the Grand Canyon holds something that none of us knew was there. So back in the 1850s, the Grand Canyon was used to mine gold. When people started mining it, the gold index crashed because they found so much gold there. The government and the military, they closed it off and they made it a sanctuary so that nobody can just go there and then take whatever they want. But there was this one guy, his name was Seth Tanner, and he was an explorer. He explored this one cave in the Grand Canyon, and he claims what he saw was ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics in one of the caves. The theory is the Grand Canyon, it actually holds the lost gold city of El Dorado.
Yeah, the whole city.
The whole city. That ancient tale that all of the natives talk about, the lost city, the gold city, never found. The theory is that it's literally in the Grand Canyon, deep in these caves. The reason the government and the world is trying to keep it a secret is because it would crash the gold price. It's supply and demand, right? Yeah. If they find a huge abundance of gold, nobody's gonna care about it.
In 1908, President Teddy Roosevelt sought to protect the Grand Canyon from timber and mining operations. Explorer G.E. Kincaid, anticipating the closure, mounted an expedition to the area to find minerals. But what he discovered there was something completely unexpected. Approximately 40 miles upriver from El Tovar Crystal Canyon, Kincaid observed unusual sediment stains, and upon investigation found a cavern entrance with steps leading to it, suggesting a man-made structure. Inside, Kincaid found writings on the walls not in English or Native American scripts, but in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. This finding suggested a historical connection far beyond local or known civilizations. The cave system revealed a vast underground city, estimated to house up to 50,000 people, complete with granaries, cooking areas, and artifacts indicating a sophisticated society with knowledge of metalwork and possibly agriculture. Among the findings were granaries with preserved seeds, tools made of copper indicating a lost art of hardening the metal, and various artifacts that pointed to a technologically advanced civilization. The complexity of the cave system with engineered passageways and rooms challenged contemporary understandings of ancient civilizations in North America. Kincaid's findings led to a Smithsonian expedition led by Professor S.A. Jordan, which further explored the cave system, uncovering a central chamber with a statue resembling Buddha, hinting at a cultural amalgamation or influence from distant lands. The artifacts and the layout of the cave suggested a deliberate, sophisticated design, contradicting the notion of an isolated or primitive local civilization. Despite significant discoveries, mainstream researchers and the Smithsonian have labeled the account as a hoax and dismissing the claims of an advanced civilization predating Native Americans in the Grand Canyon, and the possibility of ancient transoceanic contacts that might have influenced pre-Columbian American civilizations. Any and all attempts to further explore or validate Kincaid's findings face governmental restrictions, with areas off-limits for exploration. This remarkable discovery aligns with local tribal legends, such as those of the Hopi, suggesting a historical basis for tales of ancient peoples and non-human entities emerging from the Grand Canyon, blending myth with tangible archaeological intrigue.
What y'all think about that, though? Every time we find something, they make it off limits and we can't explore it. Don't y'all find that funny? I do.
The moon landing was likely faked, and there's a number of reasons that point to a faked moon landing. NASA even claims that they quote-unquote lost the technology to get us on the moon. Yet today's technology is way more advanced than what we had then. Conspiracy theorists point to the small oxygen tanks the astronauts were wearing and how they wouldn't have been able to sustain them on the moon for the 24 hours they were said to be there. Somebody even asked the supposed astronaut Buzz Aldrin to swear to God he landed on the moon, and he wouldn't. He even told a fan of the moon landings that they never landed on the moon. And why were they able to have almost instant communication with Nixon in the White House from hundreds of thousands of miles away, all while wireless communication were still being developed? Just look at the moon and see how bright it is compared to the footage of the moon. It would be even brighter if you were on it. Not to mention there not being a star in the sky during the supposed moon landing. This all points to a fake and staged moon landing.
I was a firm believer that we never went to the moon.
You were?
Yeah, this is what happened. A documentary called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. The thing that's compelling is that there were some faking going on. If you look at Gemini 15, it's an image of Michael Collins when they were testing. They had them all strapped up with cables, and they're just experimenting with these things. They took that photograph and then blacked out the background. This is it right here.
Oh.
So what it is like, so the first one is clearly he's in a studio and they're working on things and just trying to understand how all this stuff works. And the second one, they took the exact same photo and just reversed it and blacked out the background.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they didn't go to the moon. This means that someone got a hold of some photographs and faked it. Probably some overzealous PR agent. The moon landing one's my favorite.
Really?
I think with the moon landing, it's way more likely that we went to the moon, but that some of the footage is fake. Some squirrely footage. You ever see the video of them jumping around? It looks like they're on trampolines.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Watch this. Look at this. Watch these guys bounce up in the air. It's like they're on some sort of wire, like they're being yanked up into the air.
Oh, yeah.
If you watch, sometimes they're falling down, and when they're falling down, it looks like they get yanked back up. Like, homeboy falls down, and then it looks like he gets yanked back up. Look at this. Whoops.
Oh, he did not. That's not him standing up.
Yeah, what is this?
That's not him standing
He
up.
pulled a Michael Jackson Smooth
Right,
Criminal.
but you're on the moon. Okay,
No,
so you realize you're in
no.
1/6 Earth's gravity.
But there was nothing to make him go like this.
Exactly.
Right? You can't.
Watch this
You have
again.
to turn to your base to get up. You can't look at. There's nothing on the ground. How's he going to get the momentum?
He's
to
getting
go?
yanked up. Like he would have super abs. He would have to be like a
No,
break
you
dancer.
can't because. Okay, maybe a breakdancer. Maybe a breakdancer. But you can't get up without putting a base down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird.
It's
I never
very
saw it
weird.
before.
In
And he only
the
had one
press-
foot on the ground there too.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's true. Look at this. Watch.
So he stood up like.
Look at that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, bro,
can't
that
do
ain't
His
real.
right foot's down, his left foot's up, and he just goes straight up in
No,
the air. It
no,
is
that's not-
crazy.
that's fake.
But I've never been in 1/6 Earth gravity in either of you.
No,
so maybe it's
Joe,
easier
it's
to
fake,
do.
dude. You can't stand like that.
You think that's
You-
fake?
that
Ben
video.
Askren says we never went to the moon.
You're not even ready to imagine the craziness we're in right now. Antarctica is the most mysterious continent in the world. A new theory is so crazy that it could completely change your perception of the Earth. According to this theory, Antarctica is not just a massive ice continent, but rather an enormous ice wall that surrounds all the continents. In 1992, a new world map was created, the Gleason map, which shows Antarctica encircling all our continents. This theory goes even further. Some believe that if we manage to cross this wall, we will encounter numerous other continents deliberately hidden from us by governments.
I assure you, this is not normal water. If these people on this boat saw what exists over in this area, they would not be able to comprehend what they had just seen. And after speaking to people who have sailed over in this region, I now know what exists over here, which I didn't know 8 months ago. Now what you guys might be thinking is this water is just called glass ocean, which is when the water is so calm that it looks as if it is made out of a type of oil. And technically that is true. That can happen sometimes, but there's also another reason for why the water might be this calm. Now this intel comes from people that I've spoken to who have been beyond the ice wall. They have told me that the farther away you get from civilization and closer to the great beyond, that there are a lot more deep sea gigantic creatures. Here we got the Leviathan's Gate. There are these creatures that guard all of these openings out to the new area. And because they are so massive, that the resonant frequency of the animal makes the water so calm and still. And that's why it appears just like that.
We all wait. What do y'all think about this flat earth stuff? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of evidence, and some of it makes sense, and some of it is just completely ridiculous. I just find it all interesting, you know what I mean? But let me not hold y'all up. Let's get back to the video.
No, the Earth is actually... Okay, no, we're not doing that. What? Yeah, we're doing this? For real? Why do I have to be that guy? What is beyond the ice wall of Antarctica? Disclaimer, obviously a theory and should be considered for entertainment purposes only. Yes, this is the ridiculous Earth plane theory, or at least a part of it. Now, personally, I think this map is complete bullcrap. There's just countless evidence that goes against it. Before ever even considering a theory, you always need to look for some sort of tangible proof. And these mysterious blue shards reported in a leak from Antarctic research labs are a little more revealing. They were leaked by this helicopter engineer who was contracted to work at McMurdo Station in Antarctica from 1997 to the year 2000. And if you don't know, McMurdo Station is usually where shit goes down. So this engineer, let's call him Jimmy Boy, claimed that he befriended a few of the scientists doing research there in 1998. The scientists told him that they had two types of ice they worked with down there. There was this ice that they drilled cores out of boreholes in the ground that was cold to the touch, usually clear or some shade of white, and melted into water. Almost all of Antarctica is covered with this type of ice, which is just normal ice. Clearly, this wasn't their main focus of research. The only times they ever actively study this ice is when film crews from like National Geographic came down to film a documentary. The other 95% of the time, they studied the forbidden sky ice, totally different than the ice that we're used to. Jimmy wasn't allowed in the labs where they studied sky ice because it was, you know, super duper top secret. But one time, one of the scientists he got close with showed him a piece of the ice, and it was unlike any other matter he's ever seen on Earth. First of all, you couldn't touch it with your bare hands and had to wear your heavy-duty South Pole exploration gloves when holding it because of how cold it was. Secondly, as you can tell, it was this solid deep blue color, allegedly composed mainly of oxygen, and is why they called it sky ice. And oh man, I haven't even scratched the surface of how deep this goes. Oxygen has a freezing point of about negative 218 degrees Celsius, which is when it turns into a solid, so you'd practically get frostbite just by looking at it. Jimmy held it for a bit with his gloves, of course, noting that it was lighter than regular ice, almost like he could have thrown it up in the air and it would have floated back down. It was also slightly flexible and completely opaque, so you couldn't see through it at all. And it didn't even melt into water when it got warm, but just continually shrank until it ceased to exist, likely turning directly into oxygen gas, which is why they had to study it in Antarctica. They couldn't even transport it to anywhere in the world before it disappeared. The Russians knew about this too, and it's part of the reason they all have research stations down there. After 15 minutes or so, the sky ice was almost completely gone, and Jimmy asks his research friend where they even get this ice from. And this is where it gets interesting. Because to that, the scientist replied, they get it from the wall. According to him, if you go deep enough, hundreds of kilometers inland from the coast, you'll run into a huge wall in Antarctica that contains this sky ice, the biggest natural structure in the world. This sounds a lot like the infamous ice wall from the pancake Earth theory, which states there's a giant wall of ice that surrounds our entire planet, and there's even more land beyond this wall if you somehow manage to get past it, including the legendary lands of Atlantis, Mu, the Garden of Eden, and even Asgard. Obviously just an incredible stretch of a theory, but interesting to see the ice wall mentioned in a scientific setting here. Now, buckle in, cause this is where it actually gets insane, in case you felt like it wasn't already. The US has known about this sky ice for decades, and back in the 60s, they actually tried boring a tunnel through the ice wall. They built a special boring machine made for the super cold temperatures of the sky ice wall and started digging. For the first 2 miles or so, the floor was solid rock, but after that, even the ground under them became the bright blue sky ice, until they got about 5 to 10 miles deep after an entire year of boring, which is pretty damn far and still no sight of the other side. When they realized the tunnel was shrinking and eventually got so small that they could barely even move their machine anymore. Turns out sky ice, when exposed to warmer temperatures, just dissipates into thin air, but in colder temperatures, like inside the tunnel, it regenerates itself. Eventually, the tunnel got so tight, it became too difficult to continue boring, so they scrapped the project, ditched the machine, and after many decades, the hole they dug into the wall has now been completely sealed. Now, some people say this sky ice wall sounds almost exactly like what would be called the dome or the firmament in the horizontal earth, or at least fragments of it, and even the most popular book in the world had something to say about it. Ezekiel 1:26 reads, "And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone." Now, whether you believe in the Bible or not, we can all agree it is by definition a historic text. Text that was written sometime in history. Firmament over their heads, appearance of a sapphire stone. I mean, I really don't want to believe this is true, and who knows, maybe this entire sky ice Antarctica story is just completely made up, but as always, what if?
A lifetime
what
of
if.
indoctrination has given us a knee-jerk
still interesting,
reaction
right?
to certain terms. Because the heliocentric globe is all we have ever known, when someone suggests that our creation is flat, we imagine some disk floating in outer space, perhaps with water flowing off the edge. This is not biblical cosmology. Such a conception is circulated by misinformation agents as a way to ridicule and discourage investigation of the subject. When it comes to how vastly different biblical cosmology is to the spinning space ball, an absence of curvature is just the tip of the iceberg. Here are 5 key aspects of biblical cosmology. 1. The firmament and the waters. There is no outer space in the biblical model. The first chapter of Genesis and other scriptures describe our world as being encased within an immeasurable body of waters. These vast waters are referred to as the deep. On the second day of creation, God made the firmament to divide the waters which were below from the waters which were above, allowing for an inhabitable expanse in between. Even after the flood, these waters remained, for the psalmist David declared in his day, "Praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that be above the heavens." Isaiah describes the firmament as being of a solid material that was stretched out as a curtain over the earth. The fact that the firmament is indeed a domed structure is confirmed by Isaiah's use of simile, comparing it to a tent to dwell in. Elihu described the sky as strong, likening it to a molten mirror. Such terminology proves that the Bible writers understood the firmament to be solid. 2. A circular face with ends. The Bible repeatedly mentions that the earth has ends, and further, that it has a face. A sphere does not have ends, and it is the only shape without a face. The face of the earth is described as a circle when viewed from heaven above. The Hebrew word for circle, kug, does not indicate a sphere, as many would argue, for Isaiah used another Hebrew word, dur, when referring to a ball. The Hebrew word kug is elsewhere translated compass. During our world's creation, God set a compass, or engraved a circle, upon the face of the depth. 3. Fixed upon foundations and pillars. While modern science claims that the earth is moving through space at unbelievable speeds, the Bible declares that the earth is presently established, or fixed, and that it shall not be moved. God himself said to Job that he laid the foundations of the earth. It is also written that the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. Pillars and foundations are structural components that must be firmly set in order to serve their purpose. This raises the question, whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? The Bible answers, He hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. This seemingly impossible feat of engineering, the earth being founded upon waters, was marveled at by Job, who declared, He hangeth the earth upon nothing. That is, nothing which affords stability as far as man is concerned. The structure of the heavens, the firmament, is also set on pillars, which are said to tremble at God's reproof. 4. The divine dwelling. God's throne sits directly above the firmament. Just as the pillars of the earth are struck in the waters below, God likewise layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters which are above the earth. It is written, the Lord sitteth upon the flood. Being literally enthroned above our world, the Heavenly Father looks down from the height of his sanctuary. To illustrate the vertical vantage point God occupies, Isaiah states that men are as grasshoppers from God's view. 5. Geocentric, not heliocentric. According to Scripture, the sun, moon, and stars are not millions of miles away, but are simply lights in the firmament of the heaven. Far from being a cluster of space rocks and burning gases roving in their own courses, the Bible teaches that these mysterious luminaries were made for the sole service of the earth, to give light upon the earth. Besides dividing day from night, the clockwork procession of these celestial wonders was to allow man to reckon seasonal changes and to mark the ages as they passed. During his battle with the Amorites, Joshua did not bid the earth, but the sun to stand still. David likewise understood that it is the sun which moves. He likened the sun to a strong man running a race, who untiringly circuits the heavenly track above. This fact is also supported by Solomon, who stated that after the sun goes down, it hasteth to the place where he arose. What are called planets are simply wandering stars. These luminaries traverse the heavens irregularly, wandering in retrograde motions above the earth. Not being mentioned specifically during creation,
what y'all think about this right here,
wandering
man?
stars
Drop it in the comments.
fall
Let me
under
know
the
what's on
general
your
category
mind.
of stars, which God made on the fourth day. Unlike the cosmology of science falsely so called, the creation model that the Bible describes needs no theoretical physics to support itself. It is so simple that a child can understand it. Yet Bible truth requires the faith of a child to be received. While the simple biblical model is in complete harmony with our own personal experience, its wonderful simplicity, in most cases, does not appeal to the pride of a grown man, and he passes it by, seeking some great thing in its place.
It's a lot of good information, man. Take from it what you will. Do your own research, your own work, as always.
Is there something about the Earth that NASA is not telling us? Just so we all know, the translation of NASA in Hebrew is to deceive. The father of NASA is Wernher von Braun, a Nazi Germany scientist. And when he died, on his gravestone, he put Psalms 19:1, which is where it says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his work." The biblical firmament is a dome created by God, separating the waters from the waters and where heaven lies, which is the same story we hear in multiple religions, including ancient Egypt. Here's a NASA document where they explain that the Earth and the planets are mathematically drawn pictures. Then you have weird stuff like the Antarctic Treaty, which doesn't allow people to travel to Antarctica. The United Nations logo, which is literally a flat Earth map. Then we have the Vatican, and the Bible clearly states not to engage in astrology. Instead, they buy the world's most powerful microscope and they name it Lucifer.
Leave the Earth behind. I don't know if you noticed the two kids wearing the t-shirts.
All things name it. That's what y'all gonna name it.
Yeah. Was wearing an Obey t-shirt.
Prince of the
other
Sky.
girl was wearing a NASA t-shirt. Obey NASA.
Just saying, man. A lot of times they put it right in your face. Gotta pay attention.
Is a code for
back to it.
Satan. But everyone's saying like, oh, that NASA doesn't even spell that word. NASA always starts their countdown with T minus.
Yeah, what's T minus?
The missing letter to complete the word.
No, that's crazy.
They are mocking everyone with the disclosing in plain sight with the letter T subtracted from the name, the same title given to the father of all lies, Satan.
Yo, that's fucked.
So in the thing, movie,
yeah.
Obey Satan.
That's fucked.
They are always going to put the truth in your face. Check out this commercial where they show the firmament and the waters above the firmament.
I'm watching. Do y'all even pay attention to stuff like this? I mean, I always find it interesting. Who going this hard for a commercial? I'm just saying. Some pretty wild stuff, though, you gotta admit.
What you just saw was biblically accurate. God's word states we live under a firmament that separates the waters above the firmament. We're in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. The Hebrew word for firmament is rakia, which is extended surface, solid expanse, the vault of heaven supporting the waters above it, considered by Hebrews as solid and supporting the waters above it.
I've been going to church my whole life.
What do y'all think about this commercial? Y'all let me know in the comments.
And I never remember this
follow me,
firmament
and
stuff
share this.
until they just brought it back up.
And like always, God bless.
So check this out. P. Diddy on Biggie's car when the night Biggie got shot, they put a sticker on like the tire.
I seen that.
It marked which one was Biggie's. And then that's when he got assassinated.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's...
Wait, see, what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to go back and do some more research on that one right there. Because like I said before, I've been to church 1,000 times, had scriptures read 1,000 times, and I never noticed the firmament in the scripture. So I'm gonna have to go back and do some research on that. So I advise y'all to do the same thing. Let's get it.
So check this out. P. Diddy on Biggie's car when the night Biggie got shot, they put a sticker on like the tire.
I seen that.
It marked which one was Biggie's. And then that's when he got assassinated.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Watch this clip.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he lived.
Jared Will Wright be going in, bro.
It supported all of Bad Boy. His catalog. Clearly, a Biggie Smalls verse.
Pretty much all of them died from either a heart attack, except for Kim. So check this out. So 3 of the guys died of a heart attack.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas, and then the next thing you know... You want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late
books
of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books.
Boom.
Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died.
The body language speaks volumes. Cassie does look kind of worried. She know what happened when he get drunk. Y'all seen the videos. He put like 8, 9 different alcohols in that one shot. Did he be going in? It's a wild boy. Look at that hair down.
Apparently, P. Diddy is the new Jeff Epstein. It recently came out that Diddy was doing some questionable things with powerful people and even teens, to put it mildly. Just recently, the other day, he tried to
Meek Mill so damn zesty.
But was not ready to disappear. This whole thing is just wild, considering it involves a lot of entertainers. Some of them include Meek Mill, Jay-Z pictured here, and the Instagram Goat of Throats. you know what I mean, known as Young Miami, who was apparently one of his workers who would entertain the men. Wink.
Now wait, just 1 second. I know we talk a lot about what Diddy had going on, but as you realize, and as I've come to find out, there's one dude right there that's always next to him, always partying with him. Jay-Z. Guilty by association? I don't know. But like minds and like people always hang around each other, so you take from that what you will. Let's get it.
But it goes a lot deeper than that. It's believed that he ran an operation that moved and used young people, if you know what I mean. Now, it's great that all this is coming to light and his bad deeds have been exposed. But I think the rabbit hole's a little deeper, and I think more influential people are involved, and it would not surprise me if he takes an eternal nap after they arrest him and say he was feeling a little sad. Remember, almost nothing is as it seems, and let me know in the comments what you think. Stay weird.
You know those Walmart type brands like Great Value and then the regular brands, right? Listen to this theory, right? It might shock you a bit.
Oh yeah, I've been saying this.
Than just the normal whipped cream. I bet you didn't know.
All the same stuff.
By the same company. It's just that Great Value goes to the same manufacturers and they just get it made cheaper without the branding, like no brand name. So, you know, the canned vegetables, right? The big name brand is called Green Giant, and the Great Value ones are also made by Green Giant. It's the same with cereal. There's this store called Aldi, right? Now this store is known for having the best products that match up to the big name brands. That's how they promote their store. So if you go into Aldi, they have this brand called Millville. And all their cereals are replicas of cereals like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cookie Crisps, and Rice Krispies. And they look so similar, but are all made by Millville. The real name brand is made by General Mills. They dug deep and found out that Millville is the same thing as General Mills. It's the exact same. They even taste the exact same, like literally.
There it is. My gosh. It hasn't changed.
20-year-old
The pickle's the only thing that's
McDonald's
disintegrated. This is actually the receipt. I had to put it in plastic. It was just...
What's your reaction to seeing it like this?
Scary.
I gotta stop this for a second, because I know I'm like most of y'all, man. My kids love fucking McDonald's. And 9 times out of 10 when they ask for it, I get it for them. But after seeing this, I'm gonna have to get y'all some vegetables or something, because this is wild. Let's get back to it.
It's a real conundrum.
It's just crazy. I mean, it looks like you could just heat this up in the microwave.
This is McDonald's dark secret, the truth about their
Ew.
meat. Uh-oh, here we go.
Stop eating the McDonald's. McDonald's. You're getting that downer cows, boy. People like McDonald's, I'm going, bah. In fact, they use downer cows. I don't know if you know what a downer cow. I used to work on farms in New Zealand. You know, my first business was the modern farm system is so bad for animals, okay? That milk cows specifically, they push them so hard to produce milk, the cow just basically...
And this will be ingesting.
It's almost like fainting. They can't stand up. Their bottom legs come out from
It's
under.
crazy.
And you call them downer cows. So eventually you have to hit them with a bolt.
Man. Check them out.
Are McDonald's hamburgers really poisonous? Would you like to know? Well, let's find out. Did you know that McDonald's hamburgers are only 15% real beef and the other 85% is meat filler cleansed with ammonia, which causes stomach and intestinal cancer? Not only that, but horse meat and human meat have been found as a meat filler in McDonald's hamburgers. A McDonald's factory in Oklahoma was allegedly found with human and horse meat in the freezer. Not only that, but the human meat was also recovered from several trucks that were on their way to deliver the patties to McDonald's restaurants across the country. According to various reports, authorities have inspected factories across the country, have found human meat in 90% of the locations. And with that being said, will you be enjoying a supersized Big Mac with your family this afternoon? This is Alkaline City with Truth Conspiracies. Like and follow for more. Peace.
Yo, Pepper said he doesn't allow his family and kids to consume their products. Also, the CEO of McDonald's claimed that he doesn't even eat his own company's food.
This is why you should never eat McDonald's French fries ever again. McDonald's French fries are straight up made with poison. Now, we all had fun with the Grimace shake because Grimace would kill you after you drank it, but what we never thought about was what the french fries were doing to us. All the french fries from McDonald's are made with the same type of potato, the russet Burbank potato. Despite being challenging and difficult to grow and crop, this potato is the preferred potato from McDonald's because it's really long, and that's what makes their signature french fries long. The problem is that they have a defect known as net necrosis, manifesting little brown lines all over it. And Ronald and the gang refuse to purchase potatoes with imperfections, so to eliminate the problem, farmers spray it with the pesticide known as Monitor, which is so toxic that those tending to the Idaho potato fields must avoid venturing outside for 5 days after spraying, and the potatoes must be stored in a massive atmosphere-controlled shed for a period of 6 weeks to allow the chemical from the pesticide to off-gas completely, rendering the potatoes finally edible for consumption, or so they say.
This is the truth about Dasani. Dasani has 3 ingredients that you should not be drinking. The first ingredient is salt. Salt will literally just make you more thirsty, which literally takes away the whole point of drinking a water bottle. The second ingredient is magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate will literally dry your mouth out. If you're wondering why Dasani would even do that to your water, it's because of money and business. If they dry your mouth out and make you more thirsty, this will cause you to buy another water bottle, which will bring Dasani more money. This also explains why Dasani is sold at every fast food restaurant. The last ingredient is called potassium chloride. If you consume too much of it, it can give you heart problems or even cardiac arrest. Hey, this is very tough, but
it's in the water too? Come on, man.
These are the top 4 water bottles you should never drink. For number 1, we got Nestle Pure Life. Nobody should be drinking a water bottle full of chemicals. And I can't even pronounce this one. Bicar hydrogen. Next, we got Dasani. Now, Dasani has magnesium sulfate and potassium chloride. But that's not even the worst part, because Dasani also has salt that's designed to make your mouth dry. And this is why every fast food restaurant sells Dasani. Because if your mouth gets dry, you're just gonna buy another one, which makes Dasani and that restaurant more money. And believe it or not, it is not smart to drink smart water. First of all, any water that says added for taste, stay away from. And second, smart water has calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, potassium bicarbonate. I don't even know why waters have all these chemicals, but I promise you don't need it to be hydrated. And last but not least, Aquafina. And I'm already knowing that some of y'all...
I got it in my fridge right now. What we doing? You think you being healthy, drinking water, and you just ingesting hella chemicals. Alright, man, back to the video, man. That's just me. I'm tripping because I know I got it in the refrigerator right now, but let's keep going.
I got this in your fridge right now. Well, I'm sorry to tell y'all that scientists gave Aquafina a pH test. And scientists were surprised that Aquafina failed because it came back too acidic. So I went ahead and did research on why Aquafina is so acidic. And these are all the chemicals that's inside of every bottle. So now you might be confused on what you can actually drink. So if you guys want a full video of all the best water, be sure to comment part 2 and follow me so you don't miss it. Now stay conscious.
You won't believe this, but not only is Dasani an environmental disaster, it's also designed to kill us. So first, we're going to do a simple pH test showing how acidic this stuff really is. As we all know, over-acidity in the body leads to many types of sickness, diseases, and illnesses down the road. So what we have here is living alkalized water from my medical device at home, and you can see how quickly our bodies can balance out. This is where it gets scary. You see that ingredient, potassium chloride? Potassium chloride is one of the 3 ingredients used for lethal injections.
And we drinking that.
Right here, potassium chloride should cause cardiac arrest and death within a minute of injection. Why is this in our drinking water? So the question is, why are we continuing to give our money to these soda companies to add these ingredients into our water for you?
Hold up. That's crazy. Winnie the Pooh and Tarzan is the same movie with the same clips in it.
Have you ever really taken a good look at the Starbucks logo? Although today she is made to be more PG, disturbingly, however, she is actually a bare-chested creature with her tail spread
out, don't she?
And the history behind this creature and the reason it was chosen for the logo is even more disturbing. As it turns out, Back in 1971, the coffee shop founders were inspired by the fictional character Captain Starbuck from the story Moby Dick when choosing the name. Then, on the hunt for a logo, they wanted one that would capture the seafaring history of coffee. With Seattle being Starbucks' original home, which is a port city, and the fact that coffee
Seattle's
beans
best.
typically travel from overseas, they decided to scour through old marine books for inspiration. They came across a 16th century depiction of a twin-tailed creature named a siren. Though typically mistaken for a mermaid, a siren, however, is a seductive and violent creature that uses its beauty to lure sailors into the water. A siren sings an enchanting song to put a man into a trance, which he would then be unable to resist her and would jump right into the water where he would be drugged to the bottom of the sea to be killed. They would also attempt to lure ships to rocks with these songs, causing them to crash and ultimately die. And the founders chose the siren for this very reason. See, they wanted people to smell Starbucks, to see Starbucks and desire Starbucks,
and
to
it's
give
working.
in to the temptation
The
of their
line
coffee.
is always long.
The founders wanted you to not be able to resist them, just like the sailors couldn't resist the siren. And though over the years the company has given the seductive siren a makeover, her dark and deep history remains.
You ever been down the Paramount rabbit hole? Yeah, watch these 22 stars go and hover over the waters and then congregate over the Paramount. Para means what? Means breath. Breath means what? Well, breath means spirit, and it hovered over the waters in Genesis. So we have, count them, 22 stars, Paramount, paranormal mountain. What could be the paranormal mountain? Well, I'll tell you what, it's Mount Hermon. What's crazy is in the book of Enoch,
He reaching a little bit, but he tied it together.
fell on Mount Hermon and congregated, and there was 22 leaders that were named. Enoch chapter 6, and you can pause and read, but 200 angels, 22 of those were named, and these are all the angels that fell down and congregated at Mount Hermon to talk about how they were going to basically take over the world with unrighteousness. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I'll give you the opportunity to pause and read all of this, because in Enoch chapter 6 through 10, there's some interesting things that I personally feel like speak to what's going on right now. And when it comes to stars, Revelation 9 talks about a star fell from
Quick
heaven,
pause.
and
He was referencing the book of
given the
Enoch,
key to
a
the
book that was
bottomless
taken from the
pit.
Bible. If you haven't read it, you know what I mean, you might want to do your own homework. Let's get it.
Mount Hermon means the mountain of the chief. What chief? Could it be that chief star that looked like lightning falling from heaven? Hey, Yeshua saw it. It's so funny that stars, falling stars, are referred to as angels, and angels referred to as stars. And you got this Paramount with 22 of these named stars, and the name Hermon meaning devoted to destruction.
Correct.
And in German it means soldier. So this is the mountain of the chief, where 22 soldiers met to talk about destruction. And it's so weird that celebrities are called stars. And there's the Hollywood Walk of Fame with all of these stars that are named. I'm wondering if these fallen angels have inhabited bodies and taken over to bring more destruction to the earth. Because it seems that Hollywood and the music industry, they all promote unrighteousness and ungodliness. And it's like they're trying to spread it across the world. And if this Paramount is paying homage to this situation that happened in the book of Enoch, well, then that would have to mean that they know exactly what they are doing, and they're doing it on purpose. This is just the tip of the iceberg, because every 22 of these leader angels that are named, their names have meanings. They lead the 200 fallen angels that bring unrighteousness to the world. All the evil, the freaking magic, and all this crazy stuff that's going on. Superb owl, rituals, and all this creepy Masonic ritual. Oh, did you know that Mount Hermon is actually on the 33-degree north longitude? 33. Oh, and 1/3 of the angels fell with Lucifer, and 1/3 out of 100% just so happens to be 33.33%.
Numerology, people.
Start going down this
Do your
rabbit
homework.
hole. Find out for yourself. Look, they know what they're doing. They're paying homage to these fallen angels because, hey, they might just be the fallen angels. So next time you see a falling star, don't wish upon it.
What's up, brothers and sisters? I hope everyone knows this logo. Did you know that there was a hidden meaning behind this logo? So let's break it down. We have fallen angels fallen from heaven, hovering over the waters, just like the Spirit did. And what are they doing? They're congregating around a mountain. Now, where do we get that from? And how many stars are right there? The book of Enoch speaks about 22 angels fallen from heaven, congregating on a mountain called Mount Hermon. Right here, by name. Now, when Lucifer originally fell, he took 1/3 of his angels. What is 1/3? 3.33. Why is that number so significant? Now, why is 33 so significant? Well, when the angels fell, they landed on the only geological
They
place
love those numbers.
that represents their number. 33.33 north and 33.3 degrees east, using the Paris Prime Meridian. So let's bring this all together. Paramount Logos has a mountain with 22 stars around it. The Book of Enoch has 22 stars mentioned by name that congregate around a mountain, and the mountain is literally the only geological place on Earth that represents their number using the Paris Prime Meridian. Things that make you go,
Now this one right here was wild. A couple of these gonna be the same ones going through, but I try to mix a whole lot of them together so you'll get a good idea of what's going on, but rock with me. That Eminem one was tough. What y'all think about this whole reincarnation thing? They dying and coming back and living another life looking the same. That one was crazy. They said we all got a twin out there somewhere. Y'all find mine, let me know, drop it in the comments. Y'all saw how Ellen DeGeneres was a man.
They live multiple lives and get to choose what life they wanted to do. Don't get me wrong, genetics do pass on, but they literally look the same.
Of dudes that look like you. Okay. So they just think that you've been on the earth since you've just been around, there's just different generations. I just wanted to show you just in case.
We're all stardust, baby.
I know, that's it.
You know?
What is my name? Look at this.
Okay,
This
so
is-
what do we got?
What do you think?
What is this? In the beard and the cheekbones. And the forehead.
Look at that guy. That's a French
Look
actor
just like him.
called Monet.
Yeah, we have the same foreheadish eyebrow, I think.
But that's the real.
Oh.
No, I kind of
That's
see
a
a little bit of.
revolutionary. Got the eyes.
Man, so there y'all have it, man. Another video down. Got more coming. Do your own homework on that, man. I ain't saying believe nothing for face value. You gotta research it and look it up for yourself. And with that, we gone. See y'all next time.